me turn this down. Let me turn that down, ski. Alright, let me make sure we all good now. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? How is everyone doing today, man? You already should know how it go. It is your boy B back with another video. Let me make sure. See, I don't know why. Hold up now. Hold up now. Let me make sure we ain't messing anything up. All right, hold up. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. We're going to be going over the price list today. I don't know why it's breaking up a little bit, y'all. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. All right, cool. All right. So this should be. What the heck? I don't know if it's just on my end, but it sounds like it's breaking up a little bit. I apologize, y'all, if it's breaking up. Let me get to it. And what I'll do is I'll try to make sure that I have a better solution. This usually was working perfectly fine. But today we're going to be doing our price list update. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Jones, and I specialize in helping you make an extra income stream. I am a phone flipper, been phone flipping for over a decade. This is a business that actually helped me when it came to me actually starting a business, right? Like, I didn't flip phones to make money. I flipped phones to survive, right? So when I came online and started to actually see that this was a thing, it was natural, right? And I was able to actually create a phone store from my funds that I utilized phone flipping with, okay? Now, I started phone flipping with very, very low money, okay? I'm not here to lie and cap and saying I had no money. No, I was a hustler, right? I did Wake Up Now, and I wasn't a hustler in the streets. I was a hustler with my brain, right? So I did Wake Up Now, which was a multi-level marketing company, and I ended up running into a Sprint store owner that came to one of my meetings because he heard about me, and he wanted to know if we could collaborate. Like, my group, because I had a big group of Wake Up Now, basically gets phones from him and all this other stuff, and we ended up connecting. And I ended up selling phones with him. And this actually changed the trajectory of my career when it came to where I was going. All right, so we're going to actually be doing something different today. We're going to be deep diving into a few different type of devices. And we're going to start now. So first, we're going to start. Let me make sure everything. All right, cool. First, we're going to start with Samsung, okay? Now, when it comes to Samsung, Samsung is a device that, or a company, excuse me, that does not hold its value, but I do know that we have hustlers in the community that are looking to flip these Samsungs. So we have the Z Fold 7, the Z Flip 7, the S25 Ultra, the S25 Plus, and then the S25 Edge. So you guys see, there is 3 or 4 categories. I only count 3, okay? I only count new, A+, B, and B+. I don't really deal with C or D. That's why they're empty. Now, headset only is another one. That is the HSO. That's headset only. Now, headset only is going to be when a device does not have a box. Now, this is going to be a weekly occurrence, so make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell so you guys are notified when I go live every single week, giving you guys the prices for certain devices. As much as I want to give you guys all buyers, but I can't give them all to you within a not spammy time frame. So I'm going to choose buyers throughout the week to share with you guys, or throughout the month to share with you guys on Monday. So we have the Z Fold. We got new. New is going to be brand new, sealed. It has to be sealed. This is different than when it comes to iPhones. So with iPhones, what I find with my distributors, they're cool. They allow us to actually open a device to make sure they're not getting clones. Well, Android's a bit different. I tend to see that a lot of wholesale buyers don't necessarily care if the device is being checked by us. I want to choose my words carefully, because it's not that they don't care if it's a clone. They do, but it's a less likely occurrence that it will be a clone. The Z Fold, I've sold only 2 of these to buyers, and as you see with new, they're looking at paying $840. Now I want to make a really clear observation. You ready? Look at how the Z7 Fold has Verizon, Xfinity, and Sprint. Then it has another column for T-Mobile, another column for AT&T, then another column for Unlocked. Now, Unlocked is $900. Now, Locked is $840 per carrier, right? Now, you may be wondering, why are all these uniform? If they're all uniform, why are they not on the same line? Well, that's not the case for every single device. A Verizon, Xfinity, and a Sprint device is going to be a high-risk phone. But it's going to be a top-tier phone when it comes to certain buyers, because they can unlock them easier. Now, if you don't know, Verizon and Xfinity, they utilize the same network. Now, Sprint utilizes T-Mobile's network, but I'm not sure if it switched to Verizon. I'm not sure. I had to do more research. But one thing I did know and notice is that they changed the Sprint from the T-Mobile side to the Verizon and Xfinity. It must be something where it is easier to unlock. But let's think about it. Sprint is no longer around, therefore you wouldn't get a Z Fold 7 with a Sprint service. So Sprint, that's something I'm gonna look into, and why they even put that. Now, T-Mobile, that is going to be a device that is going to be a good tier in my opinion. Now, when I'm looking to buy these devices, I'm never looking to first sell to buyers. Why? Buyers never really give good prices on Androids, in my opinion. So if we do our research, right? I'm gonna do my research right here, and we're gonna say Galaxy Z Fold, okay? We look at how much, because this is what people do. How much is the Galaxy Z Fold, right? So you see there's a bunch of different prices, but Samsung, Unlocked, it's $1,600. But when it comes to, wait, why the heck? Hold up now. We're going to have to figure out what the real price is. How much is the Galaxy Z? How much is it? Anybody know? The heck? Yeah, okay. I'm like, what the heck? So it is. It's 16. So it's $1,600. So a $1,600 device, you're telling me, is going to be down. So $1,600 is what it's on the shelf for. But we already know that the buyers are paying us, what, $840, right? So what a regular consumer would look at is, oh, so you mean to tell me that you're taking $760 off of the device? This is why a lot of people don't sell Androids or flip Androids. I'm on YouTube as well, Juice, just to let you know, my man. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. So it's important for you guys to realize that with Androids, the reason a lot of people don't actually flip them is because of the price difference. When you might have an iPhone and it might be a $200 deduction if it's new versus it on the shelf and it being sold to a buyer. So a lot of Androids, they depreciate very fast and by a lot. And that is where it can become a bit unmotivating, because you'll hear it from a lot of people like, oh no, bro, like you trying to buy this for 800. This thing is a 16. Like, it's harder to negotiate. Now, the Z Unlocked 900. Now, let's look at A grade. A grade is going to be a device that's basically brand new. It just doesn't have a box. B plus is going to be a device that is fairly used. It's fairly used, slightly used, not anything crazy, okay? Now, the Z Flip, look at the difference on how the Z Fold, $840, and then the Z Flip 7, $380. So if we are looking at that, where's my thing at? Hold on, where my tab at? Sorry. If we're looking at that and we're trying to gauge Galaxy Z Flip, because I'm very interested. Look at this. So you're talking about a device that is worth $900 in Samsung's eyes. Now it's worth $900, but the buyer is only willing to pay $380. That's insane. Minus $380. Bruh, that's a $520 drop. So again, there's a difference when it comes to Apple, when it comes to Android. Android is always going to have a really high depreciation. And that's why a lot of people don't talk about them, because it's hard to negotiate. It's hard for me to go up to somebody and be like, hey, let me buy your iPhone or, your Galaxy Z Flip 7 for $300. They're going to be like, what? It's a $900 phone, especially new. And I've had this happen several times. Fun fact, the only way I actually do get Samsungs is when people bring them to me or offer them to me. I rarely ever close a Samsung deal because they're really hard, because I can't pay that much. Now, I do want to make this clear. They do give Samsungs away free, way more than they do iPhone. So they're going to be willing to give a Samsung away, and I don't know why, right? But again, what's up? What's up, Chris? What's poppin'? I just feel like there is a real big gap between iPhone and Android. But the 25 Ultra for Verizon and Xfinity, $500. T-Mobile, $500. AT&T, $500. New unlocked is going to be $550. So you mean to tell me that a locked device is going to be worth $500, but an unlocked is going to be worth $50 more? Like, y'all see the prices. This is absolutely insane. It's robbery. And this is why people don't even put their eggs into this basket, because it pans out all the time to end up being way more trouble. I've had people that agreed with me to actually go ahead and sell me a device that's like a Samsung. And when I get to them, they usually try to negotiate. And that's what I don't like. That's why I don't even deal with it. And I also don't deal with Samsungs that much, because when people go through the setup process and then they put a Gmail on there, and let's say, I don't know, let's say they wipe the phone. And all my Galaxy users know what I'm talking about. I can't really remember what it's called, but it's when it's Google account locked. They can wipe the phone and look brand new. It looks right at the startup screen. But then when you do a few clicks, it's saying put in the previous owner's Gmail. I don't have time for somebody to do that, me not pay attention, and then me lose out on money. The S25 200, A plus 150, B plus B grade 100. Do you guys see the extreme drop in the pricing? Do y'all see that? So when y'all think about buying Android, I really want you guys to understand it is a very high risk. But I will say also, if you get people that are very in need of money, desperate, you can go ahead and get an Android and get some bread. But again, I don't recommend it. Androids 9 times out of 10 are going to be a really bad buy. They're not going to make you money, and they're going to cause you more harm than anything. Okay. All right. So next, let's do Apple Watches. So all of my people out there that are looking to flip Apple Watches, I'm going to give you a buyer's price list right now. So we got Apple Watches. The Apple Watch Ultra 49 millimeter 2025 sealed is worth $620. Open $570. A plus mint headset only as well. That is $500. B grade $450 and crack $300. Now, the reason I read that one out loud is because it is amazing how you can go ahead and buy a Galaxy. Now I'm in Galaxy, an Apple Watch Ultra cracked and still make $300. It's amazing to me. Like, if we do our research, and this is why I try to tell you guys, Do your research, understand buyers, and also understand the phone flipping game. A lot of people, they'll go online and they'll try to tell you, Apple Watch Ultra, that they flip phones. They don't. Flipping phones is more than just saying I flip it and hey, I made $2,000 profit today. No, bro, like it don't even work like that. Flipping phones really has to do with knowing connections. It has to do with having buyers and people that mess with you. Because when you have people that actually mess with you, they look out for you, they give you good prices. This is a good ass price. This watch right here costs $800, right? But if you get this watch locked or if you get this thing cracked, you still can sell this to a buyer for $300. I can go right now and offer up right now on Facebook and I can find somebody that cracked their Apple Watch Ultra 3 and I can literally be like, yo, I'll buy it for $100. And they don't have that information that it's actually worth more. Therefore, they'll sell it to me thinking that well, hey, I can't do nothing with it anyway. I'm about to just do an insurance claim regardless. Let me go ahead and take the $100. Lo and behold, I'm getting $200 from it. Watches are make or break. I never buy used watches ever. In my first 3 months of flipping phones, brought used watches. I had to sell each watch to a consumer. I've never, ever, ever sold a watch that was used to a buyer because they never took it. Every time I would meet up with them, whether it's in New York, whether it's in Washington, whether it's over there in Colombia, whether it's DR, whether it's overseas, wherever I sat down and actually gave someone these watches, they always found something extra wrong and then tried to give me a lower price every time. I will never put myself in that situation again. Now, all the other watches, as you guys can see the prices, man, we're not gonna go too in depth, but I will say the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is the watch to buy because you can go ahead and you can even look on places like OfferUp. Let me try to see if I can pull up OfferUp real quick and I can show you guys that this is actually obtainable, okay? Because see, a lot of you guys don't really look at it. Watch this, Apple Watch, and I have not typed this up. This is my first time looking up Apple Watch Ultra, right? Watch this. I'm gonna hit recent first. $450. Apple Watch Ultra 1, Apple Watch Ultra 2, $200 is what he want. 14 days ago. Not too far from me, right? If I go ahead and I look at that, bro, I can literally buy this for the amount he wants and make, nah, I ain't gonna make for, it's used, you right. So I don't buy used, but I can still make 50, 60, maybe $80. If I just buy it at his price point. So that's like the win. The win is understanding that you know the price, they don't. You actually have some leverage, okay? It's important for you guys to realize that leverage is key, okay? Leverage is key. Now, when we get into the other Ultra, yes, all Ultras, I would say green. Buy the Ultras. The Ultras will always make you more bread. If you are somebody out there looking to flip something, if you're just getting into phone flipping, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, make sure you follow me, make sure you guys are tapping in because every Monday, I'm going live with these price lists. But I will tell you this, the Apple Watch Ultra is something you need to buy. It's something you need to buy. Next, the Apple Watch S11, 42 millimeter GPS, cellular, titanium, all of these, all the way down to the 46 millimeter, right? These are okay. But the reason you're not gonna hear me talk much about these models right here is because the profit isn't gonna be the same, right? So watch, y'all watch. Apple Watch, hold on. Apple Watch, yeah, I don't know what, it's series 11. I don't know why. Let me do this. There we go. All right. This person wants for brand new $350, right? And this is, let's see what millimeter. It's Xfinity, so it's locked. He don't tell in millimeter though. I don't believe this is a scam. This is a scam. He starts showing like random stuff. Like I'm confused. Like what the? Hold on, y'all. I'm looking. This is not a scam. This is 46 millimeter. All right. So Apple Watch Series 11, 46 millimeter, right? Series 7 is this okay? And cellular. Okay. So this person is asking for 400, right? But look, it actually is worth, because this is obviously used. Obviously used. Now, he came down in his price, so I know that he's desperate. 2 reviews since 2019. If I was going to make an offer, I'd literally just be like, yo, listen, matter of fact, let's do it together. I'm looking. I could tell. Okay, Andy, yeah, this is a good guy. This is a good guy. He's good with me. He's good with me. All right, bet. Let's make an offer for real. When you see a listing like this, they give you all the information. This is a series. All right, so what would we do? Let's lock in real quick. See, that's what I'm saying. Open activated 270, bruh. 270. So for us to make a profit, I want to at least make $60 off of this. I'm not gonna lie. It's too risky. Like, what if he blacklists? Like, it's too risky. So I would want to make $60. So I gotta offer him or make him agree to 210. So you wanna know what I would do? And this is how every Apple Watch ends up being. You always are gonna end up trying to get it for 200 every time. I'll be like, I could do 200. This is still on a account, right? And then let him just, you know what I mean? Because he did get an IMEI. He's not being too overly secretive. I'm sure this is a really good deal. I'm sure he's really honestly trying to get it sold. But this is 1 month ago, so we have to see if he still has this. All right. But again, that's sort of kind of how I would approach it. But that's why I don't really deal with Apple Watches. The pricing is too different, you know? And I feel that will cause a confusion, but also a lot of rejection. And a lot of phone flippers cannot deal with rejection. I don't care. But then you see other Apple Watches, you know, down the line, you can just see how much they depreciate. You could just see like, and then minus 50 for red. So Apple Watches, in my opinion, are okay to sell, okay to get. But when you're buying an Apple Watch, buy an Apple Watch with the intention to sell to a consumer. Don't buy an Apple Watch with the intention to actually sell it to a buyer. Wholesale buyers don't even want Apple Watches unless it's just a Wi-Fi one, really, because regardless, they're going to have to take the time to actually unlock it and all of that. It's a lot. And from my experience, unlocking Apple Watches are hard. All right, let's get into MacBooks. Now, MacBooks are one of the hardest products I have ever had to acquire, but one of the most profitable products I've ever sold. Now, what I mean by that is if we go and we just look real quick on OfferUp, right? Look up MacBook, right? MacBook Pro, because I wouldn't buy no Air. And then we hit recent first, right? You'll see a bunch of different discrepancies. If you're gonna sell, if you're gonna buy MacBooks, you gotta have bread. That's number one. Like, MacBooks are gonna cost you thousands, okay? If you're buying multiple. Now, this person's in Willow Grove. Person, obviously, I can guarantee you this person is legitimate. This is an M5 chip, 16 gigabyte, 512 storage. So this is an M5 chip, which you would do on a price list. Again, guys, it's another thing. If you want the price list, I give you access, wespoi.com. All right. And then all you got to do is go to learn price list, and it's right here, or the link is below. Okay. But look at this, the M5 chip. Okay. Now he has the 512 storage. So he has this one. And as you see, sealed. It's 1,340. What does he want? 1,445. When I click on his profile, I guarantee you this is a wholesale seller. Told you. Facts. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know this like the back of my hand. This is obviously somebody that buys phones and resells them. He usually probably gets them out of a store using someone else's account. Now, the reason he's pricing this much is because he's trying to find a buyer that's going to compete with his. He knows that this MacBook is not worth that much, but what hurt does it do to test out the market with a regular consumer, especially since it's the holidays? And also, he can literally try and sell this to another buyer that may offer him more because they're desperate. You have to decide which one are you going to be. So the way I would handle that is it says he wants $1,445. Now, he probably paid $250. Nah. He probably paid $550. He probably paid $550 for this. He probably paid $550 for this 14-inch MacBook Pro M5 chip. But I ain't paying it. That's number one. All I would do is subtract. Okay, sealed is worth $1,340. Okay, that's a $105 difference. That makes sense. What? I literally would just do this. I'll put in exactly what my buyer gonna pay me. Now with MacBooks, the more money I put out, the more money I want to make. So I'll probably be like, I want to make $150. So I'll go ahead and offer him $1,100. No. Yeah, I offer him $1,100 and then I let him negotiate me up to $90. So I would pay $1,190, but I would start out at $1,100 because even if I did want to make $60, this person, I mean, I honestly, if I'm being real with y'all, and I don't recommend y'all doing this, I would start at $900. Like I would be that cheap guy, but I would be able to do it because I know for a fact that when they see my profile, they'll see that I actually make certain moves. They'll see certain things. But for you guys, I definitely would do $1,190. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. If I was to tell you guys what type of MacBooks to buy, it would definitely be MacBook Airs. But if you remember in the beginning, I said I don't buy MacBook Airs. The reason is because they're harder to sell to people. Now, why? Because MacBook Airs aren't that expensive. So they'll go to the Apple store and just get a MacBook Air instead of buying it from me because they don't know if I have any locks on it, if it has bad battery. Why are you selling it? Like, that's how they think. And what I find is the Pro version is something that others find hard to attain and get. Therefore, I could capitalize off of it. So that's the reason why I would stick with the Pro version because it's more in demand, okay? So that is exactly how I would handle that. But again, MacBooks, not necessarily a bad buy, but me personally, I'm not kicking out anything over $500 to try to make a profit. It just doesn't make sense, right? The risk reward factor does not, in my opinion, tip in my scale, right? So I would have to be careful with that. I probably would not do that. I'm pulling up another price list now. Okay. All right. So let's move on to iPhones, okay? Now we're gonna move on to locked iPhones. Now, locked iPhones, we got the iPhone Pro Max locked. Now, I still don't have prices from all buyers with the 17s, like the new ones, because I don't know, like a lot of them don't want these unlocked ones, my buyers. They're not really paying anything crazy. They're making me tell them if I have an unlocked one and then they give me a price. I don't know why. I haven't got down to the bottom of it. I'm not here to fabricate that like I'm some guru and I know everything. I don't know why they're not giving me prices for the unlocked ones. But for the locked versions, pricing is pretty fair, I guess. I would never in my life buy an iPhone 17 Pro Max locked, ever. Like, unless I'm using it myself. Because the way I look at it is, why would I put out $850, $810, or even $580 for a iPhone Pro Max, iPhone 17 Pro Max locked 256, when I could literally get a few phones with that, right? So I'm more of a person that will get the low grade phone and then I'll sell it to a consumer rather than sell it to a buyer, because I understand that the consumer, yes, it'll take a little longer, but we're in Q4, people are in the buying season. I'm not really looking to just sell to buyers. So when we look at these price lists, understand I'm giving you guys this price list not so that you can sell to buyers, but so you can know the price value of devices, right? Because once you know the value of it, then you know how to negotiate, okay? That's the difference, all right? So we have the 256, okay? A plus is 850, B plus is 810, B grade 780, C grade. Now we don't really do C or D, so I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna read that. And then this one is just basically the device. I honestly only really want to go over B plus and B, to be honest. I don't even want to go over A plus, because how many of us are getting the locked iPhone 17s with a box? Now, yes, some of us are, but it's not going to be a frequent thing. The 17 Pro lock, 256, 650, 610, 580, 512, 710, 680, 650, 1 terabyte, 790, 760, and 730. So the Pro, it's a little bit more affordable, but again, I wouldn't do it. It doesn't seem like a healthy risk, okay? And then you have the iPhone 17 Air Lock, 256, 480, 450, 420. This right here is where I would start getting interested, because I know most of the devices we get are B grade. So I'm looking at these prices right here. If I can get an iPhone 17 Air Lock 256 for 420, I'm good. But I mean, we can already go ahead and look in the market and see. Yeah. And look at how much they want some bread. And it's not even worth it, but they want the bread because they feel like it's new. That's it. Then the iPhone 17 locked. This is intriguing. 500, 470, 600, 570 for 256 and 512. Why is the iPhone 17 more than the iPhone? Well, yeah. Why is the iPhone 17 more than the iPhone Air? Well, rumor has it the iPhone 17 Air isn't selling well. It still gives that plus feeling. Like, why do I need that when I can get this? And Apple has been trying to come out with a mid-tier device. Doesn't seem like it's working. Okay, it doesn't. All right, and then I'm gonna let y'all look at the rest of the prices, but I will say this, because we're gonna go over this price and then I have another part of this. I will say, guys, the best device, me just looking at this, the 16 Plus is a good one because you can get it cheap, and it's a 16. The 16 Pro, only 128 seemed good to me. And then, of course, the 16. But the 16, the problem with that is a lot of people feel if I have a 16, it's worth bread. But that's not true. Just because you have a 16 and it's a 16 doesn't mean it's 16 money. It just means that it's a 16, okay? 16s, the whole model, okay? Affordable, it's getting more affordable just because the 17s came out, okay? And that's sort of kind of where you get the win. But again, I personally would not deal with that. And those were used devices. So let's go and let's talk about some new iPhones, okay? So this is going to be interesting because let me make sure I'm right. Yep. So new iPhones. If you're looking to buy and you're looking to flip, the holy grail is getting a new iPhone. Getting a new iPhone to purchase, okay? Purchasing new iPhones are going to make you more money, but they're going to be harder because you have to negotiate and know what you're saying. So let's just look at this. The iPhone 17 Pro Max locked 256 sealed 910 activated 910 no box headset only 880 for the 256. 512 990 activated 990 sealed 960 headset only. iPhone 17 Pro Max 1 terabyte, very similar. $1,110, whether it's open or closed. Headset only, $1,080. Okay, as you guys see, this is an expensive device to actually acquire. Now, how do I know that? Well, because if the market value is that high, we can't for the iPhone Pro Max, iPhone 17 Pro Max 256, I can't offer somebody $500. They're not gonna go for that unless they're not that smart. Okay. Now, unlocked 17 Pro 256, 950 sealed, 850 activated. The 17 Pro 512, $1,110 sealed, $110 activated, which is interesting. So that means for the 512, they don't care if it's open, but for the 256, they do. Oh, no, I'm tripping. They do. It's just $100 off. Okay. So they're knocking $100 off if you open these devices. See, now this is where the problem comes, because when people start getting scared to open devices, that's when they start actually losing money. If you're somebody out there, I wouldn't buy any of these phones, the 17 models, but if I did, I'm opening it. I'm opening it. I'm not going to give it any type of chance. Now with the iPhone 17 Air, this is going to be a device, again, as you guys saw, the locked version is less than the 17. And if I'm looking at it clearly, they're the same price just about for the 256 version as the 17. So what this means is no matter if you're flipping an iPhone 17 or if you're flipping an iPhone 17 Air, you're kicking out basically the same. The problem is the consumers, which one do they feel or view as more luxurious or more valuable? That's what you have to think. Because if I could go and get an iPhone 17 Air and sell it to a regular person like you and me, I would do it over a buyer. Because obviously the buyer knows something I don't. They obviously don't price this at a high point. Therefore, they must not have consumers that want it. So if I did get one, I don't want to take that loss. So I'm ultimately going to make sure that I am, okay, cool. I'm gonna make sure that I'm selling this to a person that values it, right? Very important. Now, the 17 unlocked and the 17 locked, $100 difference, right? So it's $100 difference whether it's locked, and it's $100 up if it's unlocked. That's not a big difference. I would definitely get the lock one, because, and I'm not saying I would buy it. What I'm saying is, if I had a choice between a locked and unlocked, some people would be like, I'm just getting the lock. I'm going to get the unlocked one. This is $700. Yeah, but that would mean I would have to kick out more money. And if I kicked out more money, I have to expect someone to care that it's an unlocked 17 while I'm competing with other resellers like me that are selling the 17 for their exact carrier. Then you might think, well, they're going to take yours, B, because they want to be free. Now, that's how it used to be. Like, they'll go ahead and buy my unlocked one and not this guy on OfferUp who has a locked T-Mobile. Problem is, everybody penny pinching right now. Not everybody trying to spend that bread. So you come up with a loss, man. No matter what, you're losing, okay? And we don't got time for that. All right. Last one is going to be the lower devices. Now, I'm going to skate through this. 16 plus, don't get unless it's locked, because the 16 plus 128 locked 415. We can swing that. Anything under 500, I'm swinging. iPhone 16 unlocked 510, way too expensive. But the locked 360, or no, 350, I'm getting that. I'm good with that. The iPhone 16e unlocked 370, iPhone 16e locked 210. iPhone 16e, for some reason, by some people, is viewed as a high phone, a good phone. It's not. It's not a good phone. And if I find somebody selling it and they wanted $400 for it, I wouldn't even deal with them. You know, I wouldn't deal with them. It's no point. And then we have the 15 Pro. Now, Pro Max, excuse me. I wouldn't buy it. It's too similar to the 16 Pro Max. too similar. I don't have the 16 Pro Max on this one. All right, so that's the new phones, guys. You guys can see the rest of the list right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, if you guys wanted to actually get that price list, don't hesitate. Remember, you can get that price list literally at wesply.com. wesply.com. Oh my God, and I typed it in wrong. That is the wholesale website, and also that is the hub for all of the phone flipping buyers price list. You can get the buyers price list right here. It's $87 one time, and you will get it for the rest of your life. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Make sure you guys go ahead and comment below. Make sure you guys subscribe, turn that bell on, man. Thank you so much.